The Honorable Barnabas Tinkasemire, Member of Parliament for Buyaga County, the Right Reverend Philippi Busip, the Bishop of Moroto Catholic Diocese, the main celebrant of our Holy Liturgy today, and the patron of the Catholic Lawyers Society International, the Vice President of Uganda Law Society, who is representing his president, he is Mr. Asimwe Anthony, the Uganda Law Society Council members, Mr. Twinobusinje Soverino, members of the Secretariat of Uganda Law Society, all of us invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, God is good and all the time. Allow me to start, my Lord Bishop, by sincerely making an apology for not keeping the time which we had agreed, but also to explain that I was undertaking an assignment which was not easy to pull out from before its conclusion, because I was on a delegated assignment by His Excellency the President to accompany His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the former President of Kenya, to Makerere University on the summit of the Guild Presidents of East Africa. So, my Lord Bishop, I had to wait until His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta departed. I hope I am forgiven, even if the Mass ended, the sacrament of penance is always extended any time. His Lord Bishop has forgiven me. You clap for me. I'm now free. Secondly, I bring you warm greetings from His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. My Lord Bishop, he sent you and the members of Uganda Law Society here his warm greetings. When he was instructing me about what to speak in the ceremony where I'm coming from, in the morning, I told him about this ceremony and also the ceremony at the Nuncio's residence. And he asked me that when I go to the Nuncio's residence, I should represent him. And I did represent him well by telling the Nuncio the message which he had told me to tell His Excellency the Nuncio. But when it reached signing the condolence book, I put there my name and my signature. I reported to him later, he said that was correct. But on this ceremony, I told him that there is a Mass in honor of the Holy Father, Pope Francis. My Lord Bishop, he said that as a leader of this country, he has already sent a message to the Vatican, a condolence message. And therefore, he asked me to read that same condolence message in this ceremony. because he told me today that I'm representing him in all the ceremonies which I'm going to attend today, as he was briefing me in the morning. So I have his message, which I'm going to read. But before I read it, I would like to say a few kind things about Pope Francis on my own account, as one of the few privileged people worldwide who had a physical interaction with him while he was in his pilgrimages here in Uganda in 2015 and in South Sudan in 2023. Lord Bishop, we know that Pope Francis had visible compassion on the weak, the sick, the disabled, the disadvantaged, the poor, and as believers in Christ, we know that that's where Jesus resides. Because in his teaching, he says that when you see someone who is naked and you clothe him, you have clothed him, Jesus. When you see someone who is hungry and you give the food, you have given Jesus food. When you see someone who is suffering and you rescue him, you have rescued Jesus. We all know that teaching in the Bible. So my first message which I want to share with all of us, especially the members of the Law Society, is to emulate the work of His Holiness Pope Francis. If we have been doing it, is to strengthen and continue doing what he was doing when he was here on earth. Because I know, my Lord Bishop, as much as all these learned friends know, that the law can be used for justice. A law can be used to solve a dispute fairly. The law can be used to prevail over injustice. But at the same time, maybe because we need to amend that act, there are some isolated cases where the law can be used to exploit the weak. The law can be used to exploit the minority. And the law can be used to exploit the poor. So my second message, which I want to share with you, is that as you exercise your profession in these different capacities, please look at the strong points on how the law is addressing the challenges which affect the people who are disadvantaged, and see how to cure those few instances or isolated cases where the law is being abused. I congratulate you on having an insight, and I thank you on having the insight of inviting His Lordship, the Bishop, to celebrate this Holy Liturgy in honor of Pope Francis. I thank you very sincerely. And I also thank the Bishop and the clergy for creating time for us. They have packed schedules, especially at such a time, but they created time for us. Let's thank them. It is not every day that we have a bishop here celebrating Mass with us. It is not every day that we have priests here celebrating Holy Liturgy with us. They could have delegated a catechist. So, Lord Bishop, and the clergy, we thank you for honoring us this since morning, full day, to come and celebrate this Mass with us. Pope Francis was a beacon of hope, compassion, and spiritual leadership, inspiring countless individuals through his tireless advocacy for the marginalized and the poor. And that's what I was saying, we should now continue emulating. When Pope Francis came to Uganda in 2015, His Excellency the President delegated me to represent him in one of the ceremonies, specifically in Kololo ceremonial grounds, where he was interacting with the youth. A big population of Uganda now, big segment of population in Uganda now is the youth. In any way possible, Uganda Law Society should focus their attention on that big majority and work with the government to see how to expeditiously widen the approaches which government is currently implementing in resolving some of the challenges that affect the youth. Those challenges are synonymous in all African countries, but we are not comfortable with some of them as government, and we call upon your support where possible for us to work together to solve the problems of the youth. His Holiness the Pope at that time gave me a rosary, my Lord Bishop. He gave me a white rosary, which I am always holding in my bag. Even now it is there in the bag. When His Holiness was in South Sudan for the pilgrimage, my Lord Bishop, I personally had the honor of meeting His Holiness Pope Francis during his ecumenical peace pilgrimage to South Sudan in 2023, when I represented His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda. His wisdom and dedication to peace building left a lasting impression. I personally attended a meeting which he chaired in the boardroom of His Excellency Salva Kiir in South Sudan. He came in a wheelchair to preside over a peace meeting. After kissing the legs of those leaders in the Vatican a couple of years ago by then, it was I think 5 years time from the time he kissed their feet. We all saw it in the social media. So he came to follow what is the outcome. How are the people of South Sudan? And he was speaking so passionately about how to end that conflict in South Sudan. And the Bishop of Canterbury also spoke so strongly about if we want to transform as Africa, if we want to industrialize as Africa, we should work together to stop the conflicts across the continent. His Holiness came in his wheelchair to South Sudan for the sake of peace. As the Uganda Law Society, that is one of the issues that we should emulate. Because with the peace, people can have time, people can invest, people can do their activities and create wealth and get out of poverty. So those are the two instances where, your Lord Bishop, I had physical interaction with His Holiness Pope Francis, and he gave me again a rosary, which I have in my bag. I move with all those rosaries everywhere I go. Fortunately, they are in the jacket, those rosaries of the Pope, so they can't get damaged. They're in the jacket. So he teaches us that he loved the prayer of the rosary. And that is again another very visible example which we need to copy. If we have not been doing it, if we have been doing it, we intensify it. Because prayer in the Bible is a tool that we can use to defeat all the immoral things world over. Prayer is a very, very strong tool. I want to thank the members here because they know that the highest form of prayer in our tradition as Catholics is the Holy Liturgy. and today we have had the strongest. But we should also say the rosary and other prayers and other fellowships when we have the occasion and the time to do so. So on my own account, that is, those are a few attributes which I can use this occasion to articulate to you, Lord Bishop, and the members here and all those who are watching online. My attention has been drawn to 3 points here. Before I read the message of His Excellency the President, the Vice President of Uganda Law Society raised the issue of the pledge which was made by His Excellency the President when you started to establish the Uganda Law Society House. I congratulate you on how far you have come in establishing the house. I will relay this comment from you to him and relay back the response. Very easy. If there is anything which is easy in this world, it is being a messenger. Because you do not have to take a decision. A decision is on this side and the other side. So you trust me, I'm going to relay the message very expeditiously and return the response. On the act which is supposed to be amended, I will draw this to the attention of the Attorney General. Since it was created, Uganda Law Society was created through an act of Parliament, the rightful person who I can take this is the Attorney General. And if I find that there are issues which need His Excellency the President, then we can share with His Excellency the President. Then, finally, the Karamoja University, Lord Bishop, thank you for spearheading the establishment of the Peace and Science University in Karamoja sub-region. Government is committed to make a contribution, and as I stand here, Lord Bishop, His Excellency the President has given an instruction for our team. I think he will not attend that meeting. He's a chancellor and I'm a deputy chancellor. I think I will represent him in that meeting. Because he said, you, Alupo, you meet Mama with the team of the university in light of the other contribution which government is supposed to offer Karamoja University of Science and Peace. So we are waiting for the communication from Mama, the Minister of Education and Sports, and then I will lead you to meet her to agree on the modus operandi of that contribution which government is offering to Karamoja University of Peace. Lord Bishop, let me not take a lot of time. I will now read the message of His Excellency the President, which is sent to the Vatican on behalf of all the people of Uganda. The Pope Francis was not an ordinary person, and therefore I would like to also call upon all of us to share this message as our own message, since it was from His Excellency the President. 21st April 2025. His Eminence Pietro Paroli, Secretary of State, Secretariat of State, Apostolic Palace, Vatican City. Condolence on the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis. Your Eminence, it is with profound sadness that I have received the news of the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis. On behalf of the government and the people of the Republic of Uganda, and on my own behalf, I extend our deepest and most heartfelt condolences to you, and through you, to the entire Catholic Church worldwide. His Holiness Pope Francis will be remembered as an extraordinary spiritual leader and a deeply respected theologian whose unwavering commitment to the faith revitalized the Church's mission in an increasingly secular world. His voice for peace, social justice, compassion, and humility touched the hearts of millions and inspired hope among the faithful. His readiness and enthusiasm to deal with other faiths, such as the Muslims, the Orthodox Christians, etc., meant that he was a religious leader that was truly in the Kisinde or track of Jesus, as Jesus taught us in the parable of the Good Samaritan in the book of Luke 10, chapter 10, verse 29 to 30. Luke chapter 10, verse 29. And then Luke chapter 7. His legacy of love, unity, and service to humanity will endure for generations to come. We stand in solidarity with Catholics in Uganda and around the globe during this time of mourning. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Please accept, Your Eminence, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. I thank you, members, for your kind attention. And for those who have rosaries, when I say that I have rosaries there, it's not for keeping. You say the rosary. You say it. The advantage of having it there is that when you're in the car, you can say it. When you are in a meeting and you have taken a rest a bit, you can say it. There are those who are good at saying it using fingers, but in this digital era, I think everybody should have a rosary, because it's also a symbol of faith. Thank you very much once again for your kind attention. May the soul of Pope Francis rest in eternal peace.